on following our regular schedule. The next thing I would like to talk about, let's move on to arrival and dismissal. With arrival, and Ms. Davidson will be pulling up a slide here as I start to talk about it. But with arrival, one of our goals is to try to keep things as normal as possible, yet with safety. We considered using multiple doors. We considered having multiple locations to where we have students dropped off. We do not feel that that's necessary at this point. We've kind of practiced this. We've run through it with our arrival team. Many of you know, if you were here last year, we made some significant changes to the arrival process in January that led to it being very fast, very safe, and very efficient. This year, we've added safe, fast, and efficient with proper social distancing inside and outside the building, getting students to class. So from a parent perspective, there will not be a significant change. You'll come in. We will still be using 2 lanes. The inside lane, we won't be going as far back with opening doors. So you'll come in just like you always did. And I know we have some parents on here who are new to us. My suggestion to you is kind of watch this, and we'll probably be doing some videos a little later just on arrival and dismissal, but just kind of follow the parent in front of you in the process. But you'll come in, you'll go into either it's the second lane, third lane, or we call that the white lane and blue lane. You'll go into those 2 lanes. If you're in the second lane, your students are going to be dismissed straight into the building. We'll be monitoring to make sure the expectation is when they leave the car, they will be social distance as they're entering the building. But first, before they get out of the car, every one of, and you all know this, our arrival team really prided themselves on the positivity and the fun we had, as well as the efficiency. We still plan on approaching with that same energy and same enthusiasm, because it is the best part of the day to see all the smiles. With that, we each have one of the thermal thermometers. Everyone in each of the 2 lanes, as we open the doors, as we always have, we will be the ones opening the doors. We'll ask a couple questions about being in contact. Anyone have a fever? Those kind of questions. After those questions, we'll very quickly take the temperature. And as long as there's no temperature, the student will be let out of the car. In the inside lane, they will go directly to the building. Again, we'll have staff verifying as they enter the building that are 6 feet apart, and they are wearing their mask. We'll have inside staff that will make sure once students enter, students will be going straight to the classroom unless they are buying lunch or buying breakfast. The only students that will be going to the cafeteria are students who truly are buying or getting breakfast. Otherwise, they're going straight to the class. Once they're in a class and students are in their social distancing areas, their location, then they can take their masks off. If you're in the outside lane, you may remember, again, if you were a parent here last year, we had the students kind of huddle in the fire lane. This year, we'll have spots marked off to where students will stand. We'll only go back about 12, 13 cars. They'll have those spots marked. Once they can cross, we'll monitor to make sure that they're masked up and they can cross, and then they'll enter the building. So we will not unload the white lane while the blue lane is moving, but it should run very efficiently, very smooth. We will be able to take every student's temperature, and we actually believe that we should be able to do that and do it efficiently enough to where we can still have you out of the car loop in 3 or 4 minutes. The other thing, parents, we all know this, that the thermal thermometers that we are using are not as accurate as a thermometer in the ear. So if we have a student who does have a temperature and you're kind of not sure about that, we will have someone available at the front. We'll ask you to pull around. They can take a more accurate temperature. If that's okay, you'll be able to go into the building in the front. If not, we'll kind of fall into our protocol that we have if a student does have a temperature before returning to school, and then they can slide over to distance learning during that time. With the dismissal, we're very, very fortunate. We're one of the schools that was already using silent dismissal, which actually lends itself to being able to adapt to social distancing. We are going to pick 3 different locations where internally we actually had in the cafeteria, we'd have the red lane, the white lane, the blue lane, excuse me, that the students would go to once their teacher sent them. We'll be monitoring in the hall. Teachers will actually be giving out a little slip. This is particularly for our little ones, a little piece of red, white, or blue paper that's laminated. It's okay if that doesn't get returned. We can remake those. We're making plenty of them. That way they know, and the person who's the monitor in the hallways know exactly where they need to go. But one group will go to the cafeteria. The other two colors We'll have other locations in the building, and then they'll be escorted out to their car. They'll be masked up. They'll be escorted out to their car with a staff member in front, staff member in back. And then we'll move on to the next round until we move through dismissal. We actually think that after a few days of doing that, we should be able to come very close to our 3:30. So arrival and dismissal should still be safe, efficient. Again, meet or surpass all